Hello all, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the basic usage of SSH. So SSH is secure shell. It is used to communicate or it is used to access a remote host from your terminal. So in order to use SSH, you can check whether your SSH daemon is running. So you can do that by using systemctl command. So systemctl status SSHD. So now it's inactive for this system, so I can enable that back by using systemctl enable --now sshd. So it's going to enable sshd right now. So now if we check the status again, we can see the status is active and running. I'm going to hit Q to exit out of that, Control L to clear my screen. So using SSH is very easy. You can do that by SSH connecting to the remote host by SSH space the username followed by the host which you need to connect. So for example, if you want to connect to a host, access a session name Tim @192.168.1.2 or something, you can access that. You just hit enter and it will ask you for the passphrase. So if you don't have like an SSH key pair generated, it's going to ask you for the passphrase of the user Tim. So if you enter it correctly, it will give you access to Tim shell inside the remote host. The next thing is generating SSH keys. So you can generate SSH keys by means of using SSH-keygen. By default, it's going to generate two keys, a private and public key. So it's going to be saved in this location /home and the username followed by .ssh directory followed by the key. So if you want to specify a custom path, you can specify it over here. So for this demonstration, I'm going to keep it where it is and I'm going to hit enter. So it's asking me whether I want to change, because I already have an SSH keypad. So whether it's like, if I want to change that, I'm going to hit yes now, because I have backup of that original key anyway. Now I can enter a passphrase, so I can do that. Now our SSH key is generated. Now all we have to do is we have to copy this. So we can do it by SCP, or we can do that by SSH-copy -id and specify your host. Like if you copy your public key to the host, you can connect without a passphrase. So if you move inside cd space .ssh, or like I have specified this as the path for the key. So if you move inside that directory, you can see like if you move inside that directory, you can see that we are having this id.rsa and id.rsa.pub. So one is public key and one is private key. So let me go back to my home directory again. So if you just type cd, it will take you back to your home directory. If you need to run a command, you don't need to log in, but you just need to run a command inside the system. Like if you want to perform an update or something, you can do like SSH space. For example, if you are a root user, you can use root @192.168.1.2 followed by the command. Can use pacman -syyu for updating Arch Linux. So you can do that, or you can use like apt update followed by y. If you give like a y, it's not going to ask you for whether you want to update. Then you can use any command if you want. You can do an ls, or you can do just who am I. So it's going to tell you root, because we are connecting to root. And the next one is X11 session forwarding. So you can do like an X11 session forwarding by specifying the -x flag. So SSH followed by the user @192.168.1.2, something like this, like user followed by the host. And before this you have to specify your flag, so capital X. So it's going to give you like an X11 session forwarded. If you want to perform a TCP port forward, you can specify SSH. You can use SSH-L for the listener port and specify the local port and the host, followed by the host, followed by which port, and the user @your host. So it's going to forward a TCP port by using SSH. So if you wanna like do something like a SOC5 proxying, you can use SSH -D and 9999 for example, and you can specify root @hostname. If you want to exit out of your SSH section, you can use exit. You can do an exit, or you can do a logout, or you can hit Ctrl+D. So if you do that, it's going to close your shell. If you want to learn more about how you can use SSH, other parameters in SSH, you can always search the man page. If you go to man space SSH, you can see like what flags you can use with your SSH. So it disables forwarding, all these things. So if you want to learn more, you can always go to your man pages, and if you hit space, it's going to go down. If you hit Q, you can exit the man pages. So that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day.